Greetings from Indianapolis. Just wanted to take a few minutes to share with you a little bit about what's going on with our ministry and the work here in Indianapolis. We thank you so much for your support in terms of monetary support, but also I hope on occasion that you continue to pray for us and for the work of ministry, because foundationally, as you begin new work such as we're doing here, we need to have that prayer network behind us of people who are really coming before the Lord and asking that He would direct us and that He would bring people to us. As I think about since the last time that I met with you or talked with you about our work here, we continue to have a core group of about 6 families and 15 to 20 people on a particular Sunday gathering. And we have 2 house church groups that are going. When we meet on Sunday afternoon, we meet in our home here in Brownsburg. And we usually have a time of sharing and catching up and asking where do we see God working in our midst. It's a very informal kind of time. We then come to the liturgy and the Word. I usually do a teaching. At this point, I tend to sit down, and it's a more intimate kind of setting. And then we move the whole group from the living room area to our dining room and gather around the table where we break bread together. It really is a special time. Musically, we sing both contemporary and traditional hymnody, but we are using actually computer programs that or YouTube clips that give us both the words and a musical background on it. Someday we hope to have enough of our own musicians that will be able to do that. And that leads me really to the next thing, that as we look ahead to the fall, one of the things that we're hoping to do this fall is to move into a sacred space on Sunday afternoons. We're particularly interested in a Methodist church about 10 minutes from where we are, that has an older sanctuary that's not being used very much, but is really a very beautiful sacred space. I'm hoping to hear in the next week or so from the board whether or not we can use that on Sunday afternoons. Also, at this point, we are trying to attract and engage new people. There's a number of relationships that our members are working on, as well as myself. 2 that come to mind most readily are recently I've met a gentleman from this community online. He found us online, and he's interested in things Anglican, came from a Lutheran background, but found that in his family tree there's a number of Anglicans, including an Anglican bishop that goes way back, and was exploring liturgy and the Book of Common Prayer, and had gone to an Episcopal congregation, but found that he didn't really align with sort of the moral positions and political positions that they were espousing, and looked us up and found us. And so we're hoping that I've had coffee with him already, and I'm hoping that he's going to join us in the next few weeks. A second person who I've engaged with on several occasions and had met with for coffee and is hoping to join us in the next few weeks. I met through a ministry with the YMCA. I volunteer as a volunteer chaplain 4 days a week, which allows me to kind of be in the lobby area and around the facility, to meet people, to introduce myself as a chaplain, to work with the existing staff and leadership of the YMCA in the greater Indianapolis area, that is trying to really revitalize its emphasis on the C in the YMCA, Young Men Christian Association. And so they've initiated the chaplain program. There's 19 volunteer chaplains in the area. And I go there about 4 hours a week, just trying to meet people, have conversations. I've had opportunities to pray, to share my testimony, and on occasion share about the work that the Lord is calling me to do. Through that relationship, I've developed met this one gentleman who, again, has been out of town the past couple of weeks, but when he returns is going to come visit us. So those are some of the ways that we're engaging in in trying to meet new people. On the 25th of August, we're going to have a garden to table party. Last year we had a similar event at one of our members, core leaders' homes, in which we picked from their garden and fixed a meal, a pasta meal, and then invited friends. And we had I think over 40 people at our last gathering. We'll have equally, if not more, at this next one, trying to be a fishing hole opportunity for us to meet people and for them to meet us, and hopefully begin some conversation about their spiritual life and perhaps coming and joining us in our mission and life of discipleship in a word and sacrament lifestyle. So those are the sort of things that are coming up, and some of the things that we're doing right now. Our mid-year sort of finances, and which you all contribute to, we've brought in about $15,000 internally among our core group. $8,000 has come through gifts such as yours and other ministries. We've had a $12,000 special seed money gift this past year that is not necessarily guaranteed in the coming year in any way. And then we've received about $7,000 in a stipend from the diocese for the work that I do as canon missioner, or canon for church planting. So that brings us to about $42,000. For those who are working with the numbers or thinking through that, our expenses have been about $40,000 at this stage. So at this point, we're a little bit ahead. But as you can tell, particularly with our seed money decline and or uncertainty for next year, our income sources may be different. So as you begin to think about next year, and as I make application for another opportunity to help support us in our startup phase, I hope you will continue to see that God's providing, but there are challenges that lie ahead. So please continue to pray for us. Pray that we might grow, particularly numerically, in the next season, this fall season. And I hope to perhaps over the course of the next year have opportunity to visit St. Luke's and particularly your outreach committee and share face-to-face more what God is doing. So thanks again, and may God bless you. Goodbye.